I was standing in line at a gas station on Route 9, holding an energy drink and a bag of beef jerky, when my marriage exploded. The notification lit up my phone. Bank alert. Joint account withdrawal. $12,500. My finger hovered over the screen. $12,000. On a Tuesday morning. While my wife Jessica was supposedly at her weekly yoga class, I opened the banking app, my heart starting to hammer against my ribs. The transaction showed a wire transfer to something called Sunset Ridge Property Management, LLC. I'd never heard of it. We'd never discussed it. And we sure as hell didn't have 12 grand to throw around on a whim. I paid for my stuff without really seeing the cashier and walked back to my truck in a daze. I'd left the house at 6 that morning for a construction job in Albany. I ran a small contracting business and wasn't supposed to be back until Thursday. But the project had been delayed due to permit issues, and my crew and I had packed up early. I sat in the driver's seat and called Jessica. Straight to voicemail. Called again. Voicemail. I pulled up her location on Find My Friends, something we'd set up years ago when she'd gotten lost on a hiking trip. The little blue dot showed her phone at our house in Poughkeepsie. Not at the yoga studio, not at the grocery store. Home. The drive back should have taken me 40 minutes. I made it in 28. Our neighborhood was quiet at 11 in the morning, the kind of suburban stillness that usually felt peaceful. Today, it felt wrong. Jessica's white Lexus sat in the driveway next to an unfamiliar silver Audi with New York plates. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. I parked on the street and approached the house on foot, my work boots silent on the grass. The front door was locked, which was normal. I used my key, turning it slowly, easing the door open. Music drifted from upstairs. Something jazzy and low. The kind of music Jessica played when she wanted to relax. Or when she wanted to set a mood. I moved through the foyer, past the living room where our wedding photos still hung on the wall. 8 years of marriage. 2 kids, Tyler was 6, Emma was 4. Both currently at school and daycare, thank God. The stairs didn't creak. I'd built them myself, reinforced every joint. I'd renovated this entire house over 3 years, turning it from a foreclosure disaster into our dream home. Every nail, every board, every coat of paint had been my hands, my sweat, my vision of our future. The bedroom door was cracked open. I stood in the hallway, my body moving on autopilot, my brain still trying to catch up with what was happening. Part of me wanted to turn around, walk away, pretend I'd never come home early. The other part, the part that had seen that bank alert, that had driven here with my gut churning, needed to know. I pushed the door open. They didn't notice me at first. They were too busy. My wife, the woman I'd loved since college, the mother of my children, the person I'd built my entire adult life around, was with someone else. In our bed. The bed I'd assembled. On the sheets we'd picked out together at Target. The man was younger than me, maybe late 20s. Fit, with the kind of sculpted physique that came from expensive gym memberships and personal trainers, not from swinging a hammer for 12 hours a day. I must have made a sound because Jessica's head whipped around. Her eyes went wide, her face draining of color. "Ryan," she gasped, scrambling to cover herself. "Oh my God, Ryan, The guy rolled off her, swearing, reaching for his clothes. I just stood there, frozen, watching my marriage disintegrate in real time. "Get out," I said. My voice came out flat, emotionless. I didn't recognize it. "Ryan, please, let me explain," Jessica started. "Not you." I looked at the guy who was hopping on one foot trying to get his pants on. "You. Get the hell out of my house." He grabbed his shirt and shoes and practically ran past me, not making eye contact. I heard him thunder down the stairs, heard the front door slam. The Audi's engine roared to life outside, tires squealing as he peeled out of the neighborhood. Jessica sat in our bed, sheet pulled up to her chest, mascara starting to run. Ryan, I'm so sorry. I never meant for you to. How long? I asked. She hesitated. How long? 3 months, she whispered. 3 months. A quarter of a year. All those nights I'd come home tired from job sites, all those mornings I'd kissed her goodbye, all those family dinners and bedtime stories and weekend trips to her mother's house. 3 months of lies. Who is he? His name is Blake. He's a real estate developer. I met him at the gym. Blake? Of course his name was Blake. Of course he was a real estate developer. Of course they'd met at her fancy gym, the one with the monthly membership that cost more than our grocery bill. The $12,000, I said. What was that for? Her eyes widened. She hadn't expected me to know about that yet. How did you? What was it for? She swallowed hard. An investment property. Blake found this amazing opportunity, and I thought, you gave him our money. It's not like that. It's an investment. We'll make it back, plus. I laughed. It came out harsh and bitter. You're sleeping with him and giving him our money? I'm still standing in my bedroom. The bedroom I framed, drywalled, painted. Jessica's sitting on the edge of the bed, mascara streaking down her face, hands shaking. An investment property, I repeat. My voice sounds flat, dead. You gave our money, $12,500, to a guy you've been sleeping with for 3 months, for an investment property. It's not like that. What's it like then, Jess? Explain it to me. She opens her mouth, closes it. Her fingers twist the sheet I'm going to burn later, into knots. He showed me the paperwork. It's a real development, Sunset Ridge. It's going to be condos, luxury rentals. He said we'd double our money in 6 months, maybe triple it in a year. We. The word tastes like copper. There is no we with Blake. There's you and him, and then there's me, apparently funding whatever the hell this actually is. Ryan, please, show me the paperwork. What? The paperwork. The investment documents. You said he showed you paperwork, so show me. She goes pale. I don't have copies. He said he'd send them, but he hasn't. He's been busy with permits, and I laugh. Can't help it. It comes out harsh, ugly. Permits. Right. What's the property address? I don't know the exact. What town? What county? What state, Jessica? Her silence is answer enough. I pull out my phone. Takes me maybe 40 seconds to search Sunset Ridge Property Management LLC, New York. Nothing. I try without New York. Still nothing. No website, no business listings, no LLC registration I can find. When did you wire the money? This morning, around 9. 2 hours ago, maybe 2.5. From your phone? She nods. Give it to me? Ryan, give me your phone. She hands it over, screen still unlocked. I open her banking app. The transaction's right there. Wire transfer, $12,500 to Sunset Ridge Property Management LLC. Routing number, account number. But no address, no business details, nothing. I screenshot it, send it to myself. Then I open her messages. Ryan, don't. I hold up one hand. She goes quiet. The thread with Blake is right at the top. I scroll up, past this morning's panicked messages after I walked in. Past yesterday's plans for lunch that apparently meant screwing in my bed. Past weeks of messages that make my stomach turn. I find what I'm looking for from last week. Blake. Baby, I need your help. The Sunset Ridge deal is time sensitive. If we don't move by Friday, we lose the opportunity. Jessica. How much? Blake. 12.5K gets you in as a founding investor. Returns start in 6 months. This is the real deal, I promise. Jessica. That's a lot of money. Blake. I know, but I wouldn't ask if I didn't believe in this. I'm putting in 50,000 myself. Your 12.5 will be worth 40,000 minimum by next summer. Jessica, I need to think about it. Blake, of course, but babe, I see a future with you. A real future. This could be the start of something amazing for both of us. Asterisk, I keep scrolling. Find more messages. Blake talking about leaving his wife. News to me that he's married. Jessica talking about leaving me, about taking the kids, about starting fresh somewhere, about how I'm stuck in the past and have no vision, about how Blake gets her in ways I never have. My hands aren't shaking anymore. I feel cold, clear, like ice water in my veins. I forward the entire message thread to myself. Then I open her email, find anything related to Blake or Sunset Ridge. There's one email from him, sent this morning, with a PDF attached. Investment agreement, Sunset Ridge. I open it. It looks official enough. Fancy letterhead, legal language. But I've read enough contracts in my business to spot problems. The address listed is a UPS store in Fishkill. The signatures are digital, no notary. The LLC registration number doesn't match any format I've seen. I forward that to myself, too. It's fake, I say. What? The investment. It's fake. He scammed you. No, he wouldn't. He's married, Jess. That stops her. What? Blake. He's married. Says so right here in his messages. Talking about how his wife doesn't understand him, how he's planning to leave her. Same thing he told you, probably. How much you want to bet he's running this same con on her? Jessica's face crumbles. No. No, he loves me. He said whatever he needed to say to get 12 grand out of you. Out of us. Out of our kids' college fund. She starts crying harder. I don't care. I grab my laptop from the dresser, open it, start searching. Takes me 10 minutes to find what I need. There's a Blake Hoffman who works in real estate in the area. Married to a woman named Ashley. I find their wedding announcement from 3 years ago in the Poughkeepsie Journal. I find his wife's Facebook page. Public profile. Photos of them together as recently as last week. Happy couple. Anniversary dinner. I turn the laptop around, show Jessica. That him? She stares at the screen. Nods slowly. He's not leaving her. He's not starting a life with you. He took our money and he's probably halfway to closing his bank account right now. I pull out my phone, call my bank. Get transferred twice before I reach someone who can help. I need to stop a wire transfer, sent this morning, unauthorized. The woman on the line is patient, professional. She takes my information, pulls up the account. I'm sorry, sir. The transfer was completed at 9:47 a.m. The funds have already been withdrawn from the receiving account. Withdrawn? Already? Yes, sir. At 10:23 a.m. An hour ago. Blake moved fast. Can you tell me what bank the receiving account was with? She gives me the name. Small regional bank in Pennsylvania. Thank you. I hang up. Look at Jessica. The money's gone. He pulled it out an hour ago. She's sobbing now, full body shaking. Oh my God, Ryan, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. You thought you'd take our money, give it to the guy you're screwing, and what? I'd never notice. Or did you plan to leave before I figured it out? I don't know. I wasn't thinking clearly. I wanted something different. Something more. More than our kids? More than the house I built for you? More than 8 years? She doesn't answer. I close the laptop. Pick up my phone. I'm calling the police. Ryan, please. He committed fraud, Jessica. Wire fraud. That's federal. And you helped him. I didn't know. Doesn't matter. You authorized the transfer. You're an accomplice. Her eyes go wide. You can't. Ryan, please. Think about Tyler and Emma. If I get arrested, you should have thought about them before you screwed a con artist in their father's bed. I dial. Get the local police department. Explain the situation calmly, clearly. They tell me to come down to the station, file a report, bring all documentation. I'll be there in 20 minutes. I hang up. Look at Jessica one more time. Pack a bag. You're not staying here. Where am I supposed to go? I don't care. Your mother's. A hotel. Blake's house. See how his wife likes that. But you're not staying under this roof. Ryan, I have to pick up the kids at 3:30. I want you gone before then. I don't want them seeing you like this, and I don't want to explain to my 6-year-old why mommy doesn't live here anymore. Not today. I walk out. Down the stairs I built. Through the kitchen I remodeled. Out the front door. Blake's Audi is gone. Of course it is. I get in my truck, sit there for a minute. My phone buzzes. Text from my foreman asking about tomorrow's job. Normal life, still happening, like my world hasn't just imploded. I text back, I'll be there. 6 a.m. Then I drive to the police station to report that my wife helped her boyfriend steal $12,500 from our family. The day's not even half over. The police arrive 43 minutes after I call. 2 officers, one older with gray at his temples, one younger who looks fresh out of the academy. They take statements separately. Me in the kitchen, Jessica upstairs in the bedroom where I found her with Blake. I keep it factual. The timeline, the bank alert, the wire transfer, the fake business. I show them everything on my phone. Screenshots of the LLC search, the property records, Blake's real estate license that lists his actual employer. The older cop, Officer Patterson, writes it all down in a small notebook. And you said the other party left before you called us? Blake Hoffman. Yeah, he took off maybe an hour ago. Did he make any threats? Was there a physical altercation? No, I told him to leave. He left. Patterson nods, still writing. And your wife? She initiated the wire transfer? She logged into our joint account and sent it. But he told her what to do. Gave her the account information. That complicates things. He closes the notebook. From a legal standpoint, she had authorized access to that account. Even if she was manipulated, she's the one who made the transfer. My hands tighten around my coffee mug. So he gets away with it. I didn't say that. Wire fraud is a federal crime, but the investigation takes time and recovery of funds. He shakes his head. I'll be honest with you, Mr. Porter. Once money moves through multiple accounts, especially if it goes overseas, the chances of getting it back are slim. The younger cop comes downstairs. He looks uncomfortable. She's pretty upset up there. I imagine so, Patterson says. He turns back to me. We'll file the report. Detective Bureau will follow up, probably tomorrow or the next day. They'll want copies of all this documentation. In the meantime, I'd suggest you contact your bank. See if there's any way to reverse or freeze the transaction. Already did, on my way home. They said once it's wired, it's gone. Figured as much. Patterson hands me a card. Report number's on there. You'll need it for insurance claims, legal proceedings, whatever comes next. They leave 20 minutes later. Jessica comes downstairs after their car pulls away. Her eyes are red, mascara smeared. She's changed into jeans and a sweater. They said I could be charged, she says, as an accomplice. I don't look at her. You sent the money. Because I trusted him. Because he said, I don't care what he said. I set my mug down carefully. You need to be out before the kids get home. That's in 3 hours. Ryan, please. Where am I supposed to go? Call your mother. Call a friend. I don't care. But you're not staying here. She stands there for a long moment, then goes back upstairs. I hear drawers opening and closing. The sound of a suitcase zipper. I spend the time calling my lawyer. Not a divorce attorney yet. Just Tom Bradley, who handled the business incorporation and the house closing. He listens without interrupting while I lay it out. Jesus, Ryan, he says when I finish. That's okay. First thing, you need to protect your assets. Today. Right now. How? Go to the bank. In person. Close that joint account. Open a new one in just your name. Move whatever's left. Then call your credit card companies. Make sure she's not an authorized user on anything. Check your credit report. Freeze it if you need to. I'm already grabbing my keys. What about the house? New York's an equitable distribution state, so she's entitled to a share regardless. But you built it, you can prove separate contributions. We'll deal with that later. Right now, stop the bleeding. The bank is a 15-minute drive. I walk in and ask for a manager. The woman who comes out is maybe 50, professional smile that fades when I explain the situation. I need to close our joint account and open a new one, just in my name. She nods slowly. I'll need to verify your identity and account ownership. And I should tell you, if there are any pending transactions, there aren't. Everything that was going to clear already did. The process takes 40 minutes. Forms, signatures, identity verification. When it's done, I have a new account with $3,847 in it. Everything that was left after Jessica's wire transfer and the regular bills that auto-drafted this week. $12,500 gone. 3 years of saving for the kitchen renovation. The emergency fund I built up working weekends and nights. Just gone. I sit in my truck in the parking lot and call the credit card companies. 2 cards. One has her as an authorized user, which I remove. The other is just mine. Then I call the credit bureaus and freeze everything. By the time I get home, Jessica's car is gone. There's a suitcase missing from the bedroom closet, and half her clothes are gone from the dresser. She left her wedding ring on the bathroom counter. I pick it up. White gold, small diamond. I bought it 8 years ago, stretched my budget as far as it would go, because I wanted her to have something nice. Something that said I'd take care of her. I set it back down and check my phone. 2:17 p.m. The kids get out at 3. My mom's picking them up today, like she does every Tuesday, and keeping them until I get home from work. Except I'm already home. I call her. Hey, Mom. Ryan, aren't you in Albany? Came home early. Listen, can you keep Tyler and Emma tonight? Maybe tomorrow too? Silence. Then, what happened? I'll explain later. I need to handle some things. Is Jessica there? No. Another pause. My mother's not stupid. Okay, yes, of course. They can stay as long as you need. Thanks. I'll call them after school. Talk to them. Ryan. Her voice is gentle. Are you all right? I will be. I hang up before she can push further. The house is too quiet. I walk through it, room by room. Living room where Tyler does his homework at the coffee table. Kitchen where we eat breakfast together every morning. Emma's room with the purple walls she picked out herself. The bedroom I built. I framed these walls, ran the electrical, laid the floor, every nail, every screw. I built this place from bare studs and drywall, turned a foreclosure into a home. And she brought him here. Into this room. Into this bed. I strip the sheets, carry them downstairs, and throw them in the washing machine. Then I go back up and pull the mattress off the frame, drag it out to the garage. I'll burn it later, or take it to the dump. I don't care which. My phone buzzes. Text from a number I don't recognize. This is Detective Lisa Morgan, Poughkeepsie PD. Got your wire fraud case. Can you come to the station tomorrow at 10 a.m.? Need to go over some details. I text back. I'll be there. Another buzz. This one from Jessica. I'm at my mom's. Please don't keep me from the kids. I stare at the message. She cheated. She stole. She brought her boyfriend into our home, into our bed, and now she's worried about the kids. I type back, we'll figure out a schedule, through lawyers. Her response comes immediately. Ryan, please, can we just talk? No. I block her number. The rest of the afternoon passes in a blur of practical tasks. I call the school, update the emergency contact list to remove Jessica temporarily. I call my foreman, tell him I need the rest of the week off. Family emergency. He doesn't ask questions. At 3:30, I call my mom's house. Tyler answers, breathless and excited. Dad, Grandma says we're having a sleepover. That's right, buddy. You and Emma get to stay with Grandma tonight. How come? Because I have some work stuff to handle, but I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Okay, where's Mom? My chest tightens. She's at Grandma Linda's house. You'll see her soon. Oh, okay. Love you, Dad. Love you too, Tyler. Emma gets on next, chattering about her day at preschool. Something about finger painting and a story about dinosaurs. I listen, make the right noises, tell her I love her. After I hang up, I sit at the kitchen table and open my laptop. Time to find a divorce attorney. The text comes through at 9:47 p.m., 3 days after I found Jessica in our bed with Blake. Unknown number. We need to talk about your wife. Tomorrow. 6 a.m., corner of Mill and Haviland. Come alone. I stare at the screen, gut tightening. Could be Blake trying to set me up. Could be some other scumbag who knows I'm vulnerable right now. Could be nothing. But it could also be something. I screenshot the message and forward it to Detective Morgan with a note. Got this. Planning to go. Thought you should know. Her response comes back in under a minute. Don't. Could be dangerous. Let me handle it. I text back. I'll be careful, recording everything. If something happens, you'll have evidence. She doesn't respond after that. I don't sleep much. Tyler and Emma are still at my mother's place in Fishkill, which means the house stays tomb quiet all night. I keep checking the clock. 2:17 a.m., 3:43 a.m., 4:29 a.m. At 5:15, I give up and get dressed. Jeans, work boots, a jacket with my phone in the inside pocket, all ready set to record audio. I grab the tire iron from my truck and slide it under the driver's seat. Just in case. Mill and Haviland is an industrial corner near the old IBM plant. Abandoned warehouses, cracked pavement, the kind of place where people don't ask questions about what you're doing there. I arrive at 5:52 and park under a broken streetlight, engine running, doors locked. A silver Honda pulls up at exactly 6 a.m. Not Blake's Audi. Different car entirely. The driver gets out. Woman, maybe 40, blonde hair pulled back tight. Business casual clothes that don't match the location. She walks toward my truck with her hands visible. No purse, nothing threatening. I roll down my window halfway. Ryan Porter? She asks. Who's asking? My name is Ashley Hoffman. I'm Blake's wife. That gets my attention. I study her face, looking for signs this is some kind of trap. She looks exhausted. Dark circles under her eyes, makeup not quite covering the strain. What do you want? To help you get your money back, she says, and to destroy my husband in the process. I unlock the passenger door. She slides in, keeping her distance, hands folded in her lap. Up close, I can see she's been crying recently. Her eyes are red-rimmed, and there's a tissue wadded up in her fist. How did you find me? I ask. Blake keeps everything on his laptop. Passwords, account numbers, names of the women he's scammed. I found your wife's information 2 days ago. Found the wire transfer receipt. Found the fake LLC paperwork. She pulls out a flash drive from her pocket. It's all on here. Everything. Why are you doing this? Because I'm done. Her voice shakes. I've known about the affairs for years. Told myself it didn't matter as long as he came home. But the fraud? That's different. He's been doing this for 18 months. At least 7 women that I found. maybe more. He uses the gym to meet them, gets them emotionally invested, then pitches fake real estate deals, takes their money and disappears. Your money too? Our accounts are separate. He insisted on that when we got married. Now I know why. She turns the flash drive over in her fingers. He withdrew your wife's $12,000 within an hour. Moved it through 3 different accounts, then pulled it as cash from an ATM in Manhattan. He's done the same thing with the others. Small enough amounts that banks don't flag it. Large enough that it ruins people. Why not go to the police yourself? Because I'm his wife. They'll think I'm complicit, that I knew and helped him. She looks at me directly. But you're a victim. You have standing. And if you have evidence, they can't ignore it. I take the flash drive. It's warm from her hand. What's on here? Bank statements, emails, text messages between Blake and the other women, fake business documents, a spreadsheet where he tracks everything. She laughs, bitter. He's meticulous. Probably thought he was being smart, keeping records. Now it's going to bury him. What do you get out of this? Divorce, clean break, and the satisfaction of watching him go to prison. She pulls out a folded paper from her jacket. I already filed. My attorney says if I cooperate with the investigation, I can avoid charges. But I need you to take this to the police. Today. I pocket the flash drive and the paper. Detective Morgan, she's handling my case. Good. Give her everything. Tell her I'll testify if needed. Ashley reaches for the door handle, then stops. Your wife, Jessica. She's not the only one he was seeing at the same time. There's another woman, Karen Brennan. She gave him $8,000 2 weeks before your wife did. The name means nothing to me, but the implication lands hard. Blake was running multiple cons simultaneously. Jessica wasn't special, she was just convenient. Does Karen know about Jessica? I don't think so. Blake's good at compartmentalizing. But her information is on the drive too. You might want to reach out, compare notes. Why would she talk to me? Because misery loves company, and because she might have evidence you don't. Ashley opens the door. One more thing. Blake's planning to leave the country. He booked a flight to Costa Rica for next Tuesday. No extradition treaty. If you're going to do something, do it fast. She's gone before I can respond, back in her Honda and pulling away into the early morning gray. I sit there for a long moment, flash drive burning a hole in my pocket. Then I call Detective Morgan. She answers on the second ring, voice sharp. Porter, it's 6 in the morning. Blake's wife just gave me everything. Bank records, emails, evidence of at least 7 other victims. And he's fleeing the country Tuesday. Silence. Then, where are you? Mill and Haviland. Stay there. I'm 10 minutes out. She arrives in 8, unmarked sedan pulling up next to my truck. I hand over the flash drive and Ashley's paper through the window. This better be legitimate, Morgan says, plugging the drive into a laptop she pulls from her passenger seat. Her fingers move fast across the keyboard, eyes scanning. Jesus Christ. That good? That damning? She keeps scrolling. Wire transfers, fake LLCs, email chains where he's coaching these women on how to move money without their husbands knowing. This is a prosecutor's dream. She looks up at me. Ashley Hoffman gave you this? Said she wants a clean divorce and to see him in prison. Smart woman, Morgan ejects the drive. I'm taking this straight to the DA. With this evidence and Ashley's cooperation, we can get a warrant today. Freeze his accounts, seize his passport, bring him in for questioning. What about the money? Still complicated. He withdrew most of it as cash, which means it's gone. But if we can prove fraud, we might be able to go after his assets. House, cars, investments. Won't get you whole, but it's something. And Jessica? Morgan's expression softens slightly. With this evidence, it's clear she was a victim too. DA probably won't charge her. But that doesn't change your situation. The money's still gone, and your marriage is still over. I know. She hands me a business card. Karen Brennan's address is on the back. I pulled it from the drive. You might want to talk to her before we bring Blake in. Compare stories. Build a stronger case. You're telling me to do your job? I'm telling you that sometimes victims talking to each other uncovers things police reports miss. Morgan starts her engine. And I'm telling you that if you happen to record that conversation, it might be useful. She drives off, leaving me alone in the parking lot with a stranger's address and the weight of everything I've learned. Blake scammed at least 7 women, maybe more. Jessica was just one name on a spreadsheet. One transaction in a long con. I pull out my phone and look up Karen Brennan's address. 20 minutes away in Wappingers Falls. I start driving. Karen Brennan's number sits in my phone for 20 minutes before I call. I'm parked outside a coffee shop in Fishkill, halfway between Poughkeepsie and the construction site I should be at. My foreman texted an hour ago asking when I'd be there. I told him noon. It's 10:47 now. The phone rings 4 times. I'm about to hang up when a woman answers. Hello? Karen Brennan? Yes, who's this? My name's Ryan Porter. Detective Lisa Morgan gave me your number. She said you might be willing to talk to me about Blake Hoffman. Silence. Long enough that I checked to see if the call dropped. Ms. Brennan? I'm here. Her voice is quiet now. Careful. What do you want to know? He got my wife for $12,500. Detective Morgan said he got you for $8,000. $8,300. The precision tells me she's thought about that exact number many times. 2 weeks before your wife, apparently. I'm trying to figure out how many of us there are, and if there's any way to get the money back before he runs. There's no money to get back. She says it flat, matter of fact. I hired a private investigator after I filed the police report. Blake's been moving everything through shell companies and cryptocurrency. By the time it hits his actual accounts, it's already gone. Rent payments, car payments, that gym membership he uses to meet women. It's spent. Ashley Hoffman gave the police evidence on 7 victims. I know, I'm one of them. Karen exhales. Detective Morgan called me yesterday, asked if I testify when they arrest him. Will you? Yes. No hesitation. I want to watch him go to prison. I grip the steering wheel with my free hand. The detective said you gave him $8,000 in August. How'd you meet him? Yoga class? Same gym as your wife, probably. Duchess Fitness on Route 44. She laughs, but there's no humor in it. He came up to me after class. Said he'd noticed me there for weeks but was too nervous to introduce himself. Very charming. Self-deprecating. We got coffee. The story has a rhythm to it. Practiced. Like she's told it before. How long before he mentioned the real estate investment? 6 weeks. We'd been seeing each other for a month and a half. He said he had an opportunity through his development company but needed to move fast. Sunset Ridge Property Management. Promised a 40% return in 6 months. Same company name. Same pitch. You looked into it? Of course I looked into it. There was a website, professional, property listings, testimonials, contact information. I called the number and someone answered, a woman who said she was the office manager. She confirmed Blake worked there and that the investment opportunity was legitimate. Let me guess, the website's gone now. Disappeared 3 days after I wired the money. Karen's voice tightens. The phone number went to a disconnected message. I drove to the address listed on the site. It was a UPS store mailbox. He had someone helping him, the woman who answered the phone. Probably his wife. Detective Morgan said Ashley Hoffman knew about some of it. Ashley says she didn't know until recently. Ashley's trying to protect herself. Karen's tone sharpens. You don't live with someone running a con like this and not notice. She just wants to make sure she doesn't go down with him. Maybe. Or maybe Blake's better at compartmentalizing than we think. Did you ever meet him at his house? I ask. No, always hotels. He said his place was being renovated. He's married, has a house in Wappingers Falls. I know that now. Bitter. At the time, I thought he was just a successful guy who wanted to keep things private until we were more serious. I watch a woman push a stroller past my truck. Normal Tuesday morning. Errands and coffee runs and regular life. How'd you find out it was fake? I asked for documentation after 2 months. He kept putting me off, saying the paperwork was delayed. Finally, I told him I wanted my money back if he couldn't provide proof of the investment. He stopped answering my calls. She pauses. I went to the gym looking for him. The staff said his membership had been canceled. That's when I knew. You filed a police report right away? Same day, for all the good it did. Karen's frustration bleeds through. Detective Morgan was sympathetic, but said wire fraud cases are hard to prosecute without clear evidence of intent. Blake could claim it was a legitimate business deal that fell through. He could say he lost my money in bad investments. Without proof he planned to steal it from the start, it's just a civil matter. That's changed now. Ashley gave them evidence on 7 victims. Pattern of behavior. That's criminal. I hope you're right. She doesn't sound convinced. Even if they arrest him, even if he's convicted, we're not getting that money back. It's gone. You need to accept that. I don't want to accept it. That's 12.5 I worked for. Months of early mornings and late nights, materials and permits and payroll, gone because my wife decided to trust a guy she'd known for 3 months over the husband she'd been with for 8 years. Detective Morgan said Blake's planning to leave for Costa Rica next Tuesday. That's what I heard. Ashley must have told them. You think they'll pick him up before then? I think they'll try. Whether they can make charges stick is another question. Karen goes quiet for a moment. Mr. Porter, can I ask you something? Sure. Your wife. Did she know she was helping him steal from you? The question hits harder than it should. I've been asking myself the same thing for 3 days. She says she thought it was a real investment, that she was trying to help our family. Do you believe her? I watch the woman with the stroller disappear around the corner. Think about Jessica in our bed with Blake. Think about her wiring $12,000 without asking me. No, I say. I don't. Good. Because women like your wife, like me, we're not innocent victims. We made choices. We ignored warning signs because we wanted to believe the fantasy. Her voice drops. I'm divorced now. My ex-husband found out about Blake and the money. He filed 2 weeks after I told him. I don't blame him. I'm filing too. Already talked to a lawyer. Smart. Don't let her convince you this was just a mistake. She made a choice. Multiple choices. The affair, the money, all of it. I know. Do you? Karen asks. Because 3 days isn't very long. You're still in shock. Wait until the anger really sets in. Wait until you're lying awake at 3 in the morning doing the math on how many hours you worked for that money. Then you'll know. I already know. But I don't say that. If the police need me to testify, I will, I tell her. Whatever it takes to put him away. Me too, she exhales. Good luck, Mr. Porter. I hope your divorce goes smoother than mine did. She hangs up. I sit in the truck for another 10 minutes, staring at nothing. Karen Brennan gave Blake $8,300. Jessica gave him $12,500. Ashley's flash drive showed 5 other women. If they each gave similar amounts, Blake's pulled in at least $60,000 or $70,000 over 18 months. All of it gone. Spent on his lifestyle while he lined up the next target. My phone buzzes. Text from Detective Morgan. DA reviewing evidence. Meeting scheduled Friday 2 p.m. Will update after. Friday, 3 days from now. Blake's supposed to fly out Tuesday. 4 days between the DA's decision and Blake's departure. Not much margin for error. I text back. Will he run if he knows you're coming? Her response comes fast. We're monitoring. If he tries to leave early, we'll pick him up. That's something, at least. I start the truck and pull out of the parking lot, heading toward Albany. The job site's waiting. Drywall to inspect, subcontractors to pay, a dozen decisions that need to be made. Normal work. The kind of thing that made sense a week ago. My phone rings again. Unknown number. I almost don't answer. Then I do. Mr. Porter? A man's voice. Professional. This is David Kemp from Riverside Bank. I'm calling about the wire transfer dispute you filed yesterday. I pull over again. Yeah, what about it? I've reviewed your account activity and the transfer in question. I need to ask you some questions about the authorization. My wife authorized it, without my knowledge or permission. I understand. However, the account is jointly held, which means either party can initiate transfers. I'm looking at the documentation now, and everything appears to have been processed correctly according to our procedures. My jaw tightens. So you're saying there's nothing you can do? I'm saying the transfer was authorized by an account holder. That makes it a domestic dispute rather than a fraud case from the bank's perspective. He sounds apologetic but firm. If you want to pursue recovery, you'll need to do so through legal channels. The bank can't reverse a properly authorized transaction, even though it was stolen. Even then. I'm sorry, Mr. Porter. He hangs up. I sit there, hands on the wheel, watching traffic pass on Route 9. The bank won't help. Karen says the money's gone. Blake's leaving in 6 days. And I'm supposed to just accept it. The call comes Thursday morning while I'm measuring foundation depths at the Albany site. Unknown number, local area code. Mr. Porter, this is Detective Morgan. I step away from the crew, work boots crunching on gravel. Yeah. DA's office moved our meeting up. Can you come in this afternoon? 2 o'clock. Blake's flight. We're aware. That's why we're expediting. I check my watch. 9:47. I'll be there. The DA's office sits in a converted brownstone downtown, the kind of building that's seen 100 years of small-town justice. Detective Morgan meets me in the lobby, leads me upstairs to a conference room where a woman in her 40s waits, gray suit, reading glasses perched on her head. Ryan Porter, this is Assistant District Attorney Jennifer Walsh. Walsh shakes my hand, gestures to a chair. The flash drive sits on the table between us, next to a laptop and several manila folders. I've reviewed the evidence Detective Morgan provided, Walsh says, along with the statements from you and Mrs. Brennan. I want to be direct with you about what we're looking at. I sit. Wait. Blake Hoffman has run a sophisticated romance scam targeting married women. Based on the documentation, we can prove wire fraud, theft by deception, and potentially money laundering. The evidence is solid: bank records, communications, a clear pattern across multiple victims. But, she doesn't smile. 2 problems. First, your wife willingly initiated the transfer. She had legal access to the account. That complicates the fraud charge in your specific case, though the overall pattern helps establish intent. And second, Hoffman's leaving the country in 5 days. Costa Rica has no extradition treaty with the U.S. Once he's there, we can indict him, convict him in absentia, but we'll never see him in a courtroom, and we'll never recover the money. My jaw tightens. So what's the point? The point, Detective Morgan says, is we can stop him from leaving. Walsh opens one of the folders. I'm filing charges this afternoon. Wire fraud, grand larceny, criminal possession of stolen property. Judge Peterson is signing the arrest warrant at 4. We'll have officers at Hoffman's residence by 5. Something loosens in my chest. Not relief exactly, just the absence of one particular weight. What about Jessica? Walsh exchanges a glance with Morgan. That's more complicated. Technically, she's a victim of fraud. Hoffman manipulated her into making the transfer. But she also knowingly took money from a joint account without your consent or knowledge, used it for purposes that benefited another person, and concealed the relationship that motivated the transfer. So she gets away with it. Criminally? Probably. This office isn't interested in prosecuting someone who was exploited by a con artist, even if her choices were catastrophic for her family. Walsh's expression doesn't change. Civilly, that's between you, her, and your divorce attorney, and I suspect that battle will be much more costly for her. I think about the house, the equity I've built, the retirement account in my name only, the one I never mentioned to Jessica because it was from a previous job and she never asked. How much time will he get? If convicted, wire fraud alone carries up to 20 years federal. Add the state charges, the multiple victims, the sophistication of the scheme. Walsh closes the folder. He's looking at a decade minimum, probably more, but only if we catch him before Tuesday. You will. We intend to. She stands, extends her hand again. I'll call you after the arrest. And Mr. Porter, I'm sorry about your situation. I know that doesn't help, but for what it's worth, you did everything right. You documented, you reported, you provided evidence. Most people don't. Most people don't find their wife in bed with the guy who robbed them. I don't say that. Just shake her hand and leave. The call comes at 6:23 p.m. I'm at Mom's place picking up Tyler and Emma after work. They're eating fish sticks at the kitchen table, telling their grandmother about preschool and kindergarten with the kind of enthusiasm that makes my chest hurt. We have him, Morgan says. Arrested at 5:15 at his residence. He's being processed now. He say anything? Lawyer. Immediately. But we've got his laptop, his phone, and his wife's full cooperation. Ashley Hoffman is providing additional documentation we didn't have before. Ledgers, cryptocurrency wallets, communications with other women we hadn't identified. I step into Mom's hallway, lower my voice. How many others? Looks like 11 total, possibly more. We're still going through everything. 11 women, 11 families, 11 versions of what happened to me, playing out in houses across the county. What happens now? Arraignment tomorrow morning. Given the flight risk, we're asking for remand without bail. Judge will likely grant it. Then it's a matter of building the case, working with the feds on the wire fraud charges, coordinating with the other victims. And the money? Silence. Then, we found approximately $4,000 in cash at the residence. Some cryptocurrency holdings, but he's not providing passwords. Bank accounts are mostly empty. Mr. Porter, I have to be honest. Even with a conviction, even with restitution ordered, the chances of recovering more than a fraction are slim. I already knew that. Karen Brennan told me. Ashley told me. The bank told me. But hearing it from a detective makes it final. Okay. We'll need you to testify when this goes to trial, probably 6 months to a year from now. I'll be there. After she hangs up, I stand in the hallway for a minute, listening to my kids laugh in the next room. Tyler's telling Emma some elaborate story about a dragon that lives in the playground tunnel. Emma's giggling, asking questions that make no sense but somehow fit perfectly into his narrative. They don't know yet. Don't know their mother betrayed their father, stole their security, burned down the life we built. Don't know that the house might have to be sold, that college funds are gone, that everything's different now. Mom appears in the doorway, dish towel in her hands. She doesn't ask, just looks at me with that expression mothers have, the one that sees through everything. They got him, I say quietly. She nods. Good. Money's gone, though. Pretty much all of it. Money comes back. You know how to work. You'll rebuild. I think about the house I renovated, the business I started from nothing. The 3 years of nights and weekends turning a foreclosure into a home. She's right. I know how to build. What about Jessica? Mom's voice drops even lower. The kids keep asking when they're going home. Lawyer says I can file for emergency custody. Given the circumstances, the financial fraud, the affair, judge will likely grant temporary full custody pending the divorce. That's not what I asked. No, it's not. I don't know, Mom. I don't know how to explain to a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old that their mother chose some guy over their family. That she gave away money meant for their future so she could impress a con artist who told her she was special. Mom's quiet for a moment. Then, you tell them the truth. Age appropriate, but the truth. Mommy made bad choices. Mommy hurt Daddy. Mommy has to deal with consequences. Kids understand consequences. They're going to blame themselves. Probably, for a while. Then they'll get older and understand better. And they'll remember who was there, who showed up, who did the work. She touches my shoulder. You're a good father, Ryan. That doesn't change because their mother isn't a good wife? In the kitchen, Emma shrieks with laughter. Tyler's making dragon noises, probably chasing her around the table. My phone buzzes. Text from my lawyer, David Preston. Heard about arrest. Meeting tomorrow 10 a.m. to discuss custody filing? I type back. I'll be there. Another text, this one from a number I don't recognize. This is Karen Brennan. Detective Morgan called me. Thank God they got him. Thank you for pushing this forward. I stare at that for a second. Thank you. Like I did something heroic instead of just refusing to let it go. But maybe that's enough. Maybe just not accepting it, not rolling over, not letting Blake Hoffman fly to Costa Rica with everyone's money and everyone's dignity. Maybe that counts for something. I text back, they got him. That's what matters. 18 months later, I'm standing in a courtroom watching Blake Hoffman get sentenced to 14 years in federal prison. The judge, a woman in her 60s with steel gray hair and reading glasses that keep sliding down her nose, reads through the charges methodically. Wire fraud, grand larceny, money laundering. 11 counts total, 1 for each victim they identified. Turns out there were 3 more women beyond what Ashley's flash drive showed. Blake stands at the defense table in an orange jumpsuit, hands cuffed in front of him. He's lost weight. The gym-sculpted physique is gone, replaced by something hollow and diminished. His lawyer, a public defender who looks exhausted, doesn't even argue for a reduced sentence. The evidence was too overwhelming. Mr. Hoffman, the judge says, looking at him over her glasses, you systematically exploited vulnerable people for financial gain. You manipulated emotions, fabricated business opportunities, and destroyed families. The court finds no mitigating factors that would justify leniency. 14 years. He'll be 53 when he gets out. I watch him get led away and feel nothing. Not satisfaction, not vindication. Just a quiet acknowledgement that this chapter is closed. Karen Brennan sits 3 rows ahead of me. She testified yesterday, composed and precise. We've become something like friends over the past year and a half. The kind of friendship built on shared damage. She turns around, catches my eye, nods once. I nod back. Ashley Hoffman isn't here. She divorced Blake 8 months ago, cooperated fully with prosecutors, and moved to Vermont. Last I heard, she's working at a non-profit helping fraud victims. Trying to balance the scales, maybe. Jessica didn't testify. The prosecutors didn't need her. They had 10 other victims willing to take the stand. She watched from the gallery during opening statements, then disappeared. I haven't seen her since. Our divorce finalized 4 months ago. I got the house, primary custody of Tyler and Emma, and half of what little remained in our joint assets. She got supervised visitation every other weekend and a court order to pay child support she can't afford. She's living with her mother, working part-time at a dental office, trying to rebuild something from the wreckage. The kids are doing better. Tyler's in second grade now. Emma's in kindergarten. They see a therapist twice a month, a kind woman named Dr. Patricia Mills who specializes in children of divorce. Tyler's angry sometimes, asks questions I don't always know how to answer. Emma mostly just wants to know when things will be normal again. I tell them the truth, like Mom suggested. Age-appropriate, but honest. Mommy made bad choices. Daddy's working to make things stable. We're a family, just a different shape now. I never got the $12,000 back. The $4,000 in cash Blake had was divided among all 11 victims. I got $347.82. The cryptocurrency wallets were eventually cracked, yielding another $16,000 split 11 ways. I received $1,454.54. Out of $12,500 stolen, I recovered $1,802.36. The rest is gone. Spent on Blake's lifestyle, his gym membership, his car payments, the hotels where he met women like Jessica and Karen. Money I earned swinging hammers and managing crews evaporated into someone else's fantasy. But I'm still here, still working, still building. The construction business is doing well, better than before actually. Word got around about what happened and something unexpected occurred. People started hiring me specifically because of it. They respected that I didn't quit, didn't collapse, didn't let it destroy me. Contracts increased. I hired 2 more guys. We're booked 6 months out. I sold the house last spring. Couldn't live there anymore. Too many ghosts in the walls I'd built. Bought a smaller place in Fishkill, closer to Mom, with a yard big enough for Tyler and Emma to play. It needs work, which is fine. I know how to renovate. I know how to take something broken and make it whole. The mortgage is in my name only. The bank accounts are in my name only. I've learned to trust carefully, verify everything, and never assume someone else has my best interests at heart just because they're supposed to. I've learned that love isn't enough if it's not backed by integrity. I've learned that you can do everything right, work hard, provide, build a life, and still have it fall apart because someone else made selfish choices. I've learned that recovery isn't about getting back what you lost. It's about building something new from what remains. Outside the courthouse, Karen catches up with me on the steps. 14 years, she says. Think he'll serve all of it? Probably not. Federal time, he'll do 85% if he behaves. Call it 12 years. Still a long time. Not long enough for what he took. I don't mean the money. She understands. How are your kids? Better. Tyler's playing soccer now. Emma's obsessed with horses, wants riding lessons I can't afford yet. I shrug. They're resilient, more than I expected. Kids usually are. Karen adjusts her purse strap. I'm getting remarried next month. That surprises me. Yeah? Met him at a fraud victim support group, actually. He got scammed by a business partner, lost his restaurant. We bonded over trust issues and bad decisions. She smiles, and it's genuine. He's a good man, patient, understands why I need separate bank accounts and complete financial transparency. That's great, Karen, really. You'll find someone too, when you're ready. I think about that. Dating feels impossible right now. The idea of trusting someone again, of being vulnerable, of building something that could be destroyed by choices I don't control. Maybe someday. Not yet. Maybe, I say. We stand there for a moment. 2 people who got conned by the same man, who lost money and dignity and pieces of their lives, who testified and fought and refused to just accept it. Thank you, Karen says, for pushing this, for not letting it go. If you hadn't called me, if you hadn't worked with Ashley and the detective, he'd be in Costa Rica right now, still doing this to other people. You would have done the same. I don't know. I was pretty defeated when you called. She extends her hand. Good luck, Ryan. With everything. I shake it. You too. She walks away down the courthouse steps toward a man waiting by a blue sedan. Her fiancé, I assume. He opens the door for her, and they drive off together. I head to my truck, parked 2 blocks away. The afternoon sun is warm, early autumn just starting to creep into the air. In a few hours, I'll pick up Tyler and Emma from school. We'll go home to the house I'm renovating, eat dinner together, do homework and baths and bedtime stories. Tomorrow I have a job in Beacon, kitchen renovation for a young couple expecting their first kid. They're excited, hopeful, building a life. I'll help them create something good, something solid. And I'll keep building my own life too. One day, one decision, one honest choice at a time. Because that's what you do when everything falls apart. You don't quit. You don't surrender to the damage someone else caused. You take what's left, the skills, the strength, the stubborn refusal to stay broken, and you build something new. Not the life you planned, not the future you imagined, but a life nonetheless. Honest. Earned. Yours. I get in the truck and drive home to my kids. That's enough.